Now, though, Kellie Harrington joins us, who's just returned from London from the boxing Olympic qualifiers. Kellie, you didn't get to fight, but you were due to fight. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Morning. Not doing too bad. Like everybody else, I suppose. Hanging in there.
You didn't get to fight. What actually happened, and how close were you to fighting?
So we were out there for, it was a week, and the draw had been done, and I got seeded. I think I didn't even watch it because I never do watch the draw, but I was due to box on Tuesday, and on the Monday we were all down and we were doing our sweat session, just to make the weight down for Tuesday morning. So finished the session and we were on the way back, and then we just got news saying that they were pulling the plug on the tournament after the evening session, which we had two boxers boxing in there, so we had to kind of keep a hush-hush because we still had two lads in the competition, like in the evening time, so we didn't want them finding out and getting disheartened and playing anything on their fight, like on their performance. But yeah, it was quite annoying because you went over in the first place, like the competition could have been pulled at the start. You hold them away for a week and all the training and preparation that goes in, but I suppose safety first.
Yeah, safety first. Safety the previous week would have been safety first. We were all looking at the pictures, and there was no real social distancing at that point. The message certainly in England hadn't come down. Everybody should be standing apart. And look, it's sure, Jesus, you look at the pictures at the weekend of the tube and really in the markets, people are queuing up each other's backside. So, what was it actually like for you guys, coming from here where the messaging could have been a bit clearer the previous week, heading over to England going, not sure that they're doing the same thing that we're doing? Yeah,
well, you see, when we actually only came back from Italy as well, so we had to come back from a training camp in Italy early because of the outbreak in Italy. So we came back, and then we were back out in the institute training, and all the, there was everything about washing your hands, keeping the distance. Then they started checking the temperatures just before we flew out to London. So the shit hadn't hit the fan as such before we went. And then when we got to London, then we were hearing all about back home and about how things were crazy, but we weren't here, so we didn't really know. And over in London, it was like nothing was actually. It was like nothing was happening because everybody, all the Brits were all so close, and it didn't really look like anyone was taking any correct measures over there. But we were, as a team, we were keeping our distance from anybody outside of the sport, from trying to stay away from other teams and stuff, which is quite hard because you're in one building. You've I don't know, there was over 40 nations there. It's just unbelievable. We were all quite surprised that the tournament was going ahead anyways.
Yeah, and in the middle of all this, you're trying to qualify for the Olympic Games, which is your full-time job, essentially. Obviously there's a global pandemic and we all have to keep that in context, but this has been your life for the last 3 or 4 or 5. It's essentially been your entire sports career is coming down to trying to qualify for these Olympic Games, and the tournament is happening and you're not even sure it's supposed to be happening. So what was your mindset like?
To be honest with you, it was very, very different to what it would normally be. Because all I was thinking about was is it going to be pulled? Is it not going to be pulled? And you see people saying, "Oh, you're all you have to do is focus on the boxing, focus on the boxing." It's very hard to do that when you're also worrying about your family and stuff at home, and is everyone okay at home? And I hope they're keeping distance from people. I hope my brothers are staying in, and I hope they're doing what they're told. It's tough. It's tough for everybody, but it's tough when you're going into when you're getting ready for a fight, and all you're thinking about is, Jesus, is everyone okay at home? It was just very, very different.
And look, I think that's the thing. You actually have no choice because this is your job. You have to go and try and qualify for the Olympics. When actually, probably the right thing for everybody to do was to say, well, we're just going to wait and see what happens. But you didn't have that choice.
Yeah, we didn't. No, we just went out, and there was talk of when we were out there that they were going to run it say you box every day and get it done and over with really quickly. But that never happened. I would have loved it if that had happened because I would have got it done and over with, and we wouldn't be, we would have had more people qualify or maybe not qualify. I don't know, but one way or another would have been a weight off our shoulders, really.
Yeah, and were you fitting well? You were confident heading into it that you were going to qualify anyway?
Yeah, I was fitting well. I mean, I'll never I'll never say I was going to win, I was going to qualify, because that's not the type of person that I am. It's a level playing field until you get in there. Anything can happen on the day, really. But I was fit and I was well, and I was starting to feel really sharp. So, yeah.
Kellie, the Canadians have pulled their athletes from the Games, and the organisers are saying we need 4 weeks to decide whether or not the Games are going ahead. Do you think the Games should go ahead?
I think they should be postponed. I don't think they should be cancelled. I just think they need to make a call on that sooner rather than later, because it's bad enough that we're stuck in our houses, but now we're stuck in our houses and we're trying to get training in, and the correct training. It's kind of crazy. And some athletes, it's really tough for athletes trying to how can you fit the correct training in around all these restrictions?
Yeah. Oh, and you want to come in there?
Kellie, do you think that there is enough of credence put into what the athletes are actually thinking at the moment? Because it certainly seems to me that what the IOC are doing is to sort of ensure that they will be able to ensure that the financial benefits from holding an Olympic Games will be maintained by pushing it back a couple of months or potentially a year or two. But to me, it seems that the athletes are the most important ones. And I kind of felt in the tournament in London recently, in the qualifying tournament, that the athletes' rights and the athletes' health was kind of secondary to everything else.
Jesus, I don't really I don't know. I can't answer that. All I know is that I hope it does get postponed. Athletes come first, people come first, and I mean, there's no point in going out and going to the Olympics and having no one to celebrate it. And coming back and being brown bread then a few weeks later because you're after catching a virus out there. So.
It's a fair point, Kellie. The other thing that you were tweeting about last night was the video of the queue for the fish and chips in Howth. That was taken on Sunday. Your tweet was, if you're one of the Muppets standing in the queue in Howth for fish and chips today, you deserve to be slapped repeatedly. Absolute tools. Would I actually love to go buy a millie out of it with eggs or something?
Yeah, I don't understand that. We're not we haven't ran out of food or anything. Why are they doing that? Why are they queuing up for fish and chips like that and doing silly things? They're just absolute idiots.
Why do you think it is? Why do you think people don't fully yet understand that we could be in a situation which is the same as every other country has been in, where the hospitals are completely overwhelmed because people didn't stay at home?
Why do I think they're all queuing out there? Probably the hard man syndrome or something. I don't know. Gobshites. It's just crazy. There's nurses and doctors out there, and they're putting their own lives at risk, while you have these idiots in doing stupid, simple things like that. We're being asked just to be safe, to be cautious, to stay in your house. Don't spread it if you have it. There's a possibility I could have it. I'm not saying I have. I don't. Well, hopefully not. But I'm not going out. I'm not risking it. I'm not going to risk giving it to someone else who could possibly die from it. It's just crazy.
You're in self-isolation since you came home from London. Is that right?
Well, it's quarantine. But what I did realise is when you have to start isolating yourself and start taking people out of your normal life, it's actually, as an athlete, you just realise that you kind of do that anyway. So the only thing I'm really not is seeing my family, and I'm not able to go to the shops or anything. But it's not as bad. It's kind of a normal thing, anyways. For every athlete, we just don't get to see our families now.
Right, and so that's going to last a couple of weeks until you're 14 days clear of coming back from London. Is that it?
Yeah, so 7 days in now, another 7 days to go, and even at that, then you have to take all the correct measures. You can't be going around dilly-dallying. Quarantine is do what you have to do with the people living under your own roof, and that's it. Outside of that, don't be going and visiting your granny and your cousin and, that's only my neighbour across the road, so I can go in for a cup of tea. No, you can't. You don't know where your neighbours are after being. You don't know where their kids are after being. People don't get it.
That's the thing. I still don't know why people don't get it. Like, all of my WhatsApp groups are fairly anxious and very concerned and absolutely on lockdown and organising to meet up through Skype or whatever. It still doesn't seem though as if everybody is at that level yet where they've decided, oh, this actually does impact me.
Yeah, and I don't. You know what? Like, it'll probably take a lockdown for people to realise that, you know, which is terrible. Like, and then we'll have all the people coming out and whinging, oh, it's terrible, the country's gone into lockdown and all. Well, maybe if you'd done the right things, then the country wouldn't have to do it. We wouldn't be forced to do it. You know, like, just do it, do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's simple. Like, people just don't get it.
It does seem very simple. All right.
Selfish people will always be selfish.
Well, that's the thing, and maybe the selfish gene is the one that we've been very focused on as a race for the last 100 years, and who knows, maybe this is a bit of engineering going on to try and knock that out of us. Can I just ask you about your own, so what happens if the Olympics do get postponed? Say it's a year or 2 years. Does that change your plans about, like, would you think about going professional or any of that kind of stuff? Is any of that part of your mindset at the moment? It's like, this was my time, I had everything locked and loaded and ready to go for this summer 2020. Does that change who you are as a person or any of that kind of stuff?
No, like, not really. Like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm happy enough doing what I'm doing. We're still, like, we've been sent our programs, we've been sent everything that we need. I know we're on lockdown, but like, we're still doing our training in the house, out in the back garden. So we just keep going, keep moving forward. Hopefully there'll be a call on it, and I'll just make a decision then after that. But no decisions on turning professional yet or anything. You know, just have to wait and see what happens. Really, everyone's in the same boat. You know, it's not just like as Team Ireland that we're in this boat, but like the whole world is in this. We're all on a sinking ship together.
Yeah, and I think that actually helps a little bit with the anxiety that everybody feels, is that, like, you flick on the news and certainly too much news is certainly not great for everybody's mental health at the moment, but at least you do realise that this is the same situation right around the world in every country, and every athlete is undergoing the same thing that you're going, and the rest of the world is too. So one last question there. You said as an athlete, you know, you're kind of used to being very solitary at the best of times. Does that mean you've got any tips for us about what we should all be doing with our extra time? Are you like a box set expert? Are you good at putting in time?
Well, like, when I say that, like, we could be away, and we'd spend most of our time in the room anyways, in the hotel room, and just chatting away and scrolling. But there's too much scrolling going on now, because it's just crazy, and there's too much negativity on social media as well at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just like doing a little bit of meditation in the morning, doing some workouts. I'm actually posted a couple on my Facebook page there. One yesterday morning, had a few people join in on that. So just trying to do little things and try and get people involved in it as well, because, like I said, we're all in the one boat, and we have to reach out. A social circle, and that's social media, really.
Yeah, for sure. Owen?
Just for people who haven't seen it, Kellie, what are those workouts? What is your regime, even in the back garden, for anybody who's looking for a bit of a challenge?
Well, yesterday I done a boxing workout with no equipment, because I know, like, not every household's going to have equipment. So I just done that yesterday morning, and it was nice and easy. It was only 30 minutes. So yeah, if you want to go on and have a look, there's the Kellie Harrington boxer on my Facebook page there. If anyone wants to have a look, you can go on and do it, if you can understand me.
No problems on that score. Kellie, great to have you on this morning. Stay well, and thanks a million for taking the call.
Thanks a million. Stay safe, everybody.
It's Kellie Harrington with some good advice. Stay home. It's not that hard. Keep your distance. It's not that hard.